All right, XRP holders, here's what the next 4 years could realistically look like. Is this some harsh truth? Do you agree with this? Do you not? About to share what I read in this article. It says XRP is down 60% and losing ground. I'm going to stop right there. It's not just XRP. If we look just real quick, Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, XRP, Solana, Hyperliquid is down 10% just today in the 7-day. 24 hours, basically kind of flat, maybe up a little bit, 2%, almost 2%, 1.32%, stuff like that. Overall market cap of crypto is up barely anything, 1.21%, still in the fear and greed. So it's not just XRP that's down. Everything's down. Bitcoin's a good bit down. Maybe not 60%, but from its all-time high, I mean, it's down basically 50 or maybe a little bit over 50%. So I just wanted to draw attention to that. It's not just XRP, it's overall crypto, and this is what happens in crypto. But here's what the next 4 years could realistically look like, and some of the stuff I agree. It comes down and it says it's declined more than 60% and continues to underperform other top cryptocurrencies. Yes, but barely. If Bitcoin's down, let's say 50%, and this is down 60%, that's only a 10% difference. Not super crazy, and not crazy for crypto. So that's more of fear. I just want to draw attention to that. That's just my opinion. But yeah, let's see what the next 4 years might look like for this volatile token. Over the past 6 years, the biggest headwind for XRP was the Securities and Exchange Commission's SEC lawsuit against Ripple, whose founders created XRP. However, that lawsuit concluded last year with a lighter than expected fine in ruling that XRP wasn't an unlicensed security when sold to retail investors, and it recently has been made and kind of categorized as a commodity, which is alongside Bitcoin and Ethereum, Solana, stuff like that, which I just did a video recently. So now that's kind of two wins. It's not a security, and now it's being categorized as a commodity. Those are two good wins. But that catalyst for it being commodity didn't really do great because of just overall crypto market dragging XRP down. Earlier this month, the SEC went a step further and classified it as a digital commodity. See right there, instead of security, the reclassification, along with the approvals of its first spot price ETFs in late 2025, will make it much easier for retail and institutional investors to increase their exposure to XRP. I'm going to be honest, indifferent to ETFs. It's like you might as well just hold XRP directly and not go through an ETF, but that's my 2 cents. But looking ahead, XRP lacks major catalysts. This is where I really agree with. Because some of this is just kind of fear-based, and it's trying to make it sound like XRP is doing worse than all the other crypto and blah, blah, blah. And I don't really follow that hype and that fear and that narrative of articles like this, but I like sharing my opinion and showing some of this. But this is what I do agree with. XRP does lack major catalysts. It needs that to boost its price, and right now it doesn't really have anything at least at this moment, at the time that I'm making this video on this Wednesday in April. Is this an April Fool's joke? No, it is April 1st, but this is not April Fool's. That'd be funny. I'm like, the whole video, I'm like, April Fool's, and that's the end of the video. No, that would be funny, but that is not this video. It says XRP lacks major catalysts. It was primarily used as a bridge currency to sell fiat transactions on Ripple's blockchain, but stablecoins can now achieve the same thing with less volatility. And this is where my kind of mind changed. Yes, XRP is for cross-border payments, but something like XRP or even Bitcoin or Ethereum, cryptos that are very volatile. Like I said, XRP might be down, 60%. Bitcoin's down like 50%. That's too volatile to put money, send money through. Because, you could put it through and then it drops 10% and then you just lost 10%. Stablecoin is going to be stable and not, it's going to be pegged 1-to-1 with the dollar. It's not going to move. So using XRP to go through for cross-border payments, I was like, that's probably not going to happen. But doesn't mean it can still help, have some burns if people are using the XRP ledger and it has these little burns that burns XRP over time, and that's where it's going to be like it's going to take some time, and we're going to need some more catalysts for price and this, that, and the other to happen. But it's kind of all part of the well-oiled machine that's going to be working hopefully in the future, and then I believe it will. But it says it also can't be valued by its scarcity like Bitcoin. It doesn't natively support smart contracts for the development of centralized apps, kind of like what Ethereum does in Solana. But it kind of can be valued by its scarcity like Bitcoin, because it does only have, I think, 100 billion. Let me double check. Yep, there's a fixed supply of 100 billion XRP tokens. So I kind of disagree with that. You let me know what your thoughts. But it says, without enough catalysts on the horizon, I suspect XRP will trade sideways or slide lower over the next 4 years as the market focuses on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other blue chip tokens with clear long-term strength. It might gain more exposure as Ripple expands its fintech ecosystem, but I'm not optimistic about its long-term prospects. That's where I'm like, in my opinion, this is my opinion, this whole video is my opinion, is when you're seeing some fear and you're seeing something get beaten down, that means behind the scenes there's usually something happening. Behind the scenes, institutions, the whales, the top dogs are trying to do something. They're trying to, make it be like, oh, don't invest in this, let's focus on Bitcoin, Ethereum, when they're making something. So when it's ready, we're priced out. So it's already made a jump. The stuff has already come out, and we're like, oh wait, what? And then by the time we try to get back into it, XRP's $20, $25 or something. I'm just spitting numbers. That's not really there's no math or anything to back that up. But I'm just saying, in my experience, when you're seeing a lot of fear about something and telling you don't, maybe look at something else, or I don't have, what does he say? I'm not optimistic about its long-term prospects. That makes me start to be a little skeptical and be like, okay, so what's actually happened behind the scenes? Is Ripple, getting some expanding in its fintech or even DeFi and going to still use XRP, and it's, because I do believe in XRP long term, and if you're watching this, you probably believe in XRP long term. We will have to wait and see, but I do feel like there's stuff that's happening behind the scenes that will help it in the long term. So I am optimistic. I disagree with this part too. I am optimistic about it long term. Right now, in the short term, I'm like, yes, we need catalysts. I do agree with that part. We need something to push XRP out, get the name out again, and it start actually doing some stuff that it's been saying that it was going to be doing. And overall crypto needs to come up. It's not just XRP that's down and everything else is up. All crypto's down and it all needs to come up, and that will boost XRP with it. So I am bullish in the long term. Short term, we have to wait and see. I mean, I guess overall we have to wait and see, but I am optimistic. So not like this person saying that they're not optimistic, but that, like I said, that makes me a little skeptical, a little like, what's behind the curtain, kind of thing. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Could it kind of trade sideways and not really have anything that's happening in the next 4 years until 2030? Maybe, if there's not a catalyst comes out. But so yeah, I do also agree with that part. It could kind of trade sideways or dip down. Made a video, it could dip down to 75 cents potentially, which we'll have to wait and see. But at the end of the day, if you have a plan, you stick with that plan. You know what to do when it's up, when it's down, when it's sideways, because you've kind of have this plan, and it should be a simple plan. But it's your plan, so you make it up, you get it, whatever works for you. I've shared my plan in many videos. I won't in this video, but you can go watch some other videos where I share it, and there will be videos down the road in the future that I'll share it again. But yeah, kind of just want to end this video with that. I mean, as you can see, overall crypto is kind of flat, down a little bit on the 7-day, kind of flat, yeah, on the 24-hour. Overall crypto market is because the war is being talked about potentially having an endpoint in the near future. We'll see if that actually happens. It's always like, we'll just have to wait and see. So be prepared, be ready, have a plan. That is it for this video. As always, thanks for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think XRP will trade sideways, go down a little bit, go up in the next 4 years? You share your thoughts. You heard mine if you made it to the end of the video. Yeah, there's some stuff I agree with, some stuff I don't agree with, but overall I am optimistic and long term with XRP. But don't listen to me. You make your own plan, stick with it, and maybe I'll see you in the next video, which will be Friday. I'll be back here on Friday. I do videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if you want to check back in Friday, I should be here. Until then, peace.